Hello everyone. Today I'd like to speak about the benefits of including yogurt in our diet, and also to show you how simple it is to make homemade yogurt from scratch. I know that yogurt is readily available throughout the country in supermarkets and malls and everything, but I must highlight that homemade yogurt is far superior to the ones that you find in the stores. Why? Because the ones that you find in stores are usually highly processed, so the nutrition that you find find in homemade yogurt is usually processed so much that it's no longer there. And also, the processed yogurt would have lots of additives added to it, like sweeteners and artificial flavorings and preservatives that you do not want to take into your bodies. So why is yogurt so good for you? When we talk about yogurt, we often hear the word probiotics. And what are probiotics? Probiotics are basically live bacteria that are good for you. So these are the good guys. These are bacteria that is actually called good bacteria, and its benefits are many. For example, it's good for your gut, it's good for your skin, it's good for your weight management, it's good for women who are prone to UTI and yeast infections. So there are many benefits of taking probiotics. So yogurt has probiotics. Besides that, yogurt is high in protein, and then yogurt is also high in calcium. Apparently, 1 cup of yogurt provides half your daily requirement of calcium. And yogurt also has trace minerals like magnesium and potassium and so on. And lastly, these are the main benefits of yogurt. There are many more, but I'm just giving you a few that I think are the most important. Yogurt also has B vitamins, especially B12, which is so good for brain function. So why wouldn't we include yogurt in our diet? Now, as for making yogurt, I did make a video yesterday where I took you through the whole process. Now, it may seem like it's a long-winded process or complicated or whatever, just because I had taken you through the entire process, and throughout the process I was like chatting and saying stuff and so on. But let me assure you that all it takes is fresh milk, a starter, basically some yogurt, homemade yogurt, a little bit. So fresh milk, a starter, boiling the fresh milk till it reaches boiling point, and then bringing down the temperature, letting it cool till it's lukewarm, and then putting the starter into the lukewarm milk and basically sitting it out for about 8 hours or maybe 10 hours. It could take longer depending on where you live and the climate that you are in. I have also provided a hack where you could hasten the process by sticking the yogurt into a warm oven. That's about it. So follow me in my yogurt making process. So you need some fresh milk, and this, by fresh milk I mean the one that when you go to a store, you would find it in the fridge, the cold section. You will find fresh milk over there. They have many brands. And full cream, that's another thing that is important, because yogurt needs some fat. So full cream milk. I do know of some who have made yogurt using powdered milk. I think my sister-in-law has as well, and it's worked well for her. But I have not tried it, so I would recommend this today. And then you need to have some leftover yogurt or any homemade yogurt. You can get it from a friend or just to use as a starter. So if you can't get it from anyone around you, you could go to an Indian restaurant, not the high-end restaurants, just like a normal Indian restaurant, and you could ask them for little packets of homemade yogurt. They usually would have some in the fridge, so you can buy that. It's like about, I'm not sure how much it is, but little packets of homemade yogurt that you could take some of that and use as a starter. And then you need a pan and a stove. That's about it. So I'm going to use practically all of it because I want quite a lot today. Let's see how much can fit into this pan. So okay, I think I'm using all of it. Yeah, all of it.
going to be a little bit of a problem when I boil it afterwards, but it's okay, right? Then I'm going to turn on the stove. You can see that it's starting to boil when you see little bubbles forming at the top. So you know it's time for you to stand by the stove. So, sometimes it overflows so much that it makes such a mess on your stove, whether it be an electric stove or even it's even worse if it's a gas stove. So just be around when the bubbles start to form. So you can see it's already boiling, and I'm going to lift it up now. As long as you have it go to the boiling point, that's it. Okay, because if I leave it on the stove, it's going to pour over, and yes, time to lift. So I'm going to pour the milk into this container. I'm going to strain it a little, because sometimes you may have some lumps. So yeah. Okay, and I'm just going to leave it to cool for a bit until not for a bit. I'm going to leave it to cool until it reaches room temperature. I'll get back to you once it reaches room temperature. So when I said room temperature, I actually meant lukewarm. So what we need is for the milk to be lukewarm. That means it's like almost almost at room temperature, but just a tiny slight bit of warmth in it. So when I touch this bowl, there's a slight warmth in it, and that's it. So basically, that's the right temperature, and you can see here that there is a film that has formed on top of this milk, and this film is some people really love eating it, and in Tamil it's called adai. I know my mom likes it. I don't. So um, this is nothing but coagulated fat and protein that has come up to the top. It has like sort of gelled up, and it's become like some kind of a thick skin on the top. So what you could do is basically just take it off like this. Take it off like this. I'll show you how it looks like. So, oops. Take it off like this, and you can put it into another container, or you could leave it. Even it doesn't really matter, but I don't really like it inside because then you know I don't know, I just don't like it. So I think you can leave it in as well. Some people actually do make they keep all these pieces of these little lumps here. They keep them in a container in the fridge, and eventually when they have like quite a bit, they actually make butter out of it. I know some Indians do that. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sort of discard it. But some people really love this. So you take it off, and then I'll show you what you should do now. So now I'm going to use the remnants of my old yogurt that I have a little bit. It's a bit watery though, but as long as it's got the relevant bacteria that you need to um, start the yogurt. So here I'm going to use 1 tablespoon, 1 and 2 tablespoons. Okay, this is 2 tablespoons, and I'm going to add this into the milk. I'm going to give it a stir. Okay, so I've got 2 jars here, one and another one. I hope to fill both of them. Now that I've already mixed the starter in here, I'm going to just pour them into 2 bowls, 2 jars. This one here, and the other one I'd like to give my mom some. So this is for my mom. So these are the 2 jars that I filled up with the milk together with the starter in them. And I'm going to basically put this in a place that has like a window or by the window or something like that, and a place that has some light. So it should set in about 8 hours. So right now it is 12:52. So 12:52, and I'll let you know what time it sets. Sometimes when it's in a cloudy day or it's raining and the temperature is low, and also when you don't it's not too bright outside, you don't have much sunlight and so on, it does take a little longer than 8 hours. I've had yogurt setting like 10 hours and so on, but I have done a friend of mine actually told me about this little trick where you can actually, if you find that the day is too cold and you want your yogurt to ferment faster, you could turn your oven on, let it heat up for a little bit, and then turn it off and leave the light on. So just leave the light on, but no temperature, and put your yogurt into the oven, and that actually is a much faster way of making your yogurt ferment. So sometimes I do that. What I do is, I'll show you. So sometimes what I do is I go to my oven, I turn on the heat. I might put like about 200 or maybe like 180 degrees Celsius, and then I turn it on to just about 20 minutes or so, and then I leave it on for, and once the temperature it gets a bit warm, not hot, just warm, and then I would put my yogurt in there, and what I do is I would turn off the heat. Okay, so you must make sure that the temperature inside is just warm, not hot, and leave the light on. So this is how when you put the timer, the light is on for a longer period. So this is like about, sometimes I just leave it on for like 2 hours. It just you just have to keep coming in and checking to see if the oven is warm, and believe me, the yogurt sets much faster this way than the conventional method. Hi guys, so now it is 9:19 now. Let's see, that's nice and set. Can you see? And this one is also set. So I tested it earlier actually with the spoon to see how firm it was. So it is just nice. When we put this in the fridge, it will harden up, or I could just leave it leave it out here for another hour, but I'd rather put it into the fridge. So I had put the yogurt to set at 9:52 or 9:58. So let's take it as 1, and it is now 9:30. So that is all of 8.5 hours for the yogurt to set. You can basically put this in the fridge and it's done. Or if you want it to firm up a little bit more, then you can keep it out for another hour or so. So basically, it takes about 8 hours or so for the yogurt to set. And today being a cloudy day and a little bit rainy and so on, it wasn't sunny at all. So it's taken that long. It's taken a little longer than it usually does. So that's how you make yogurt from scratch. So thank you everyone for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you like the way I do things, if you like my videos, please do give me a like, subscribe, and do share my videos as well. Thank you so much for joining me today. Here's Shakila Shanmugam signing off. Bye everyone.